Hello and welcome to Climbing Daily. We're here at the Foundry climbing wall, which was my home gym when I lived in Sheffield. So I'm so excited to go on this gym tour. So I'm here to meet the founder of the Foundry, Mr. Jerry Moffatt, who's sitting over there waiting for me. Jerry, really nice to see you again.
Matt, yeah.
Thank you for having me here.
Yeah, you're welcome. Great to have you down.
This was my gym when I lived in Sheffield. So this place is so close to my heart. And it was one of the first that was ever really created, wasn't it?
Yes, back in '91, a long time ago. The only climbing walls in Britain were kind of like brick walls with bits chipped off with little traverses. This was the first climbing wall with T-nuts where you could bolt holes and move them around, where actual routes were made with colour coordinated holes and stuff like that. So it was really at the forefront, and it was, you know, a big question mark whether it would work.
When you first started, it was just this kind of like big empty space, and you built it up and added to it and developed it through the years.
Yes.
For you, it must be pretty special to come in now and see it full of people and see the progression that it's gone through.
It is, and you know, the other thing is, it's great to see other walls opening. Because when we first opened this wall, we weren't even sure that it was going to work. And you're thinking, is it going to work? Are people going to climb indoors? Are they going to pay to climb indoors when the Peak District's on the doorstep? And even the first week, nobody went down. The second week, nobody came down. Then I went, I knew it wouldn't work. I knew it wouldn't work, like that. And then, of course, it did work. And now there's, you know, might even be 1,000 walls in Britain. So it's great to see that progression, and it's pulled a lot of people into climbing, and they're getting the enjoyment that I got out of climbing.
Awesome. Well, I know we've got a lot to see today, so should we head down and get cracking?
Yeah.
So with every climbing wall we go to, there's obviously people in here, so if it's a little bit noisy for you guys, that's because this place is busy as a wall.
Yes, it's a Wednesday afternoon, so it's a student half day off.
Yeah. So
it gets pretty busy.
We're the first climbing holds of the tour here. So
yeah.
What is this room all about?
Well, this is basically a place for people to warm up. If we're doing coaching and training and stuff like that, and there's a load of kids and stuff, we typically bring them in here and just say, take it in turns to go across this wall, and it's like a warm-up wall. But we put some features on there, so it's like you can climb it just on features as well, or you can just do what you want, but it's just a great place to warm up,
yeah.
And it's normally fairly quiet.
Awesome. Well, let's head into the main bit, because this is only a little prelude for the main section.
Yep.
Okay, so coming through from that room into the main section of the Foundry, always hits me the second I walk in, because that's such an iconic wall with the big 510 logo and the colour on
yes.
it. You know it's the Foundry straight away.
Yeah. Well, it was so big and so steep when we first built it. It was incredible. It was such a massive wall. Obviously nowadays with these new modern walls, it's really quite small and not quite as powerful as it did, but it's still like you said, it still has a history and has a presence. And it's like you said, as you walk in, even as a total beginner, you'd look at that and you'd think, oh, one day I'd like to climb that.
Yeah, oh, for sure. And we'll get onto that bit when we walk down a little further.
Yep.
But in this initial area, we've got bouldering to our right, lead climbing and top roping and stuff to our left.
Yes.
But this wall is called the Wave, isn't it?
Yes.
Because of the feature on it.
Yes. Back in '91, I was doing a lot of bouldering in Foundry, and rather selfishly, I thought I want to have something that I can train on. So I wanted to make something similar to sort of Cuvier, Foundry type thing. And this is one of the first walls. No, it was the first wall where it was built out of resin without jugs all over it. So all the walls before, you could climb anywhere on the hold, on the wall, just with the features. So I wanted it so you could bolt features on, and the only features on the wall would be just tiny little footholds, but you wouldn't be able to climb anywhere up the wall just on the features. That was the idea behind it. So that was quite revolutionary. And the other thing, it was the first bouldering wall with mats underneath. Before that, there was no mats. And I'd climbed with Wolfgang Kulik in the university in Erlangen in Germany, and they had pole vault mats in the gym, and we used to pull the pole vault mats over, and we used to muck around on this wall and fall on the pole vault mats. And I was like, man, if I ever have a climbing wall at home, I want a pole vault mat underneath. So the original mats were kind of these little pole vault mats which deteriorated and we chucked them.
Well, training is really at the heart of this place, and something that's in the middle of the wall, which is new since I was here, is the moon boards. So
yes.
And this is, you've stuck it right in the middle, and it's a real feature of this place now.
Yes.
It is now anyway.
Yes, yeah.
And is this wall specifically, so Ben obviously created this kind of stuff, and this looks steeper than the normal moon board I've seen.
This is the standard moon board. So Ben uses this one for his trade shows, demonstrations. He had the Moon Masters down here. This was the board that they used.
That was the comp with Margot and Alex and all that from all around
when
the
they
world.
won that competition, which went down really, really well. We're really privileged to have it down here. Bit too much ice cream. Ben lives just round the corner. He's got another training area, and he's used this wall for years, so it's a logical place for him to put the thing. It's really, really popular with the harder climbers. I think he's done another one now which is slightly less steep. Okay. Obviously this one's for very experienced climbers, and it's really, really difficult.
It's because it's so central. It's a little bit intimidating. It's quite cool. It feels like another amphitheatre style setup that everyone can sit and watch you having a go.
You get a great atmosphere because when people are on that, they can sit there, and the mates might be climbing on there, and they can interact and stuff like that.
And from the newest thing in this place to one of sort of an older feature is the featured wall over here.
Yes, well, it is exactly that. It's the newest and the oldest.
So tell me about this, because when I walked in here for the first time, that was cool, but I wanted to climb this because it looked like a cliff, and I was interested in all the holds and the different ways up it.
Yeah, well, I said that the concept when we first built this wall is we have to make it like climbing outside. So you train in here, and then you'll be able to go outside, and you'll adapt quite quickly. So we wanted to make this one with all the features all over it, so you could pretty much climb up the wall on the features and paint it to look like a cliff. So it looked a little bit intimidating. As the years have progressed, I'd say a lot of the people that climb in this wall don't climb outside. And some of the bigger walls, maybe only 80% of the people climb outside. So it is good, and the climbers like it, but beginners don't like it. Because it just looks intimidating just because of the paint job.
I've never told anyone this, but when I used to climb on it, I used to imagine that I was on a hard trad route and try to psychologically get myself into that feeling of like not wanting to fall, being above gear, because it felt like a real cliff. That's what I loved about it. It's a bit sad, I haven't really told anyone.
No, I mean that's great. That's the whole idea behind it, you know.
I'm walking down towards the end, because we mentioned it at the beginning of the tour. And then the more you walk towards it, the more you realise how steep, how overhanging it is. Because when you look straight on, it doesn't seem like that. And then you get underneath it and you realise, whoa, that's a steep wall.
Yeah, I mean, when you lower off, you're out here. So that's quite a few metres overhang. It's actually only, I think it's like 12.5 metres high, something like that to the top. But there's some big holes on it, and with the big holes you can get up there, and we've got some easy routes going up the side. But it's the kind of aspiration. You come down here, you look at that, people want to climb on that wall. If you ever bring a beginner down here, they go, oh, I want to do on that one, I want to go on that one. They say, can you do that one?
I just say no, usually. It's pumpy, it's really pumpy.
Yeah, it is really pumpy. Yeah, you've got to move quick on it. I mean, both those walls are original, they've not changed at all. The middle bit of that, we just steepened it up a little bit and took we had some straight angles in there, and we took them out. The same with here, because the straight angles are really weird to climb round.
We've got a shout out name dropping here, because we've got Steve McClure coming over there with his kids. And to me, like that was always quite special about the Foundry, because you get the best in the world coming here and actually using it, like I was using it. And it was so cool to see it, and again, that inspirational thing.
Yes, yeah. I mean, Steve comes down here, and he's down here, well, he was down here yesterday, he's down here all the time, he route sets for us. And I remember Steve coming down here when he was just a 20-year-old kid before he was famous. And he said he used to come down there and watch me and Ben climb, and it kind of inspired him. And he's really put a lot into the wall, and it's great to have him down here and using it as his gym, his private gym.
Yeah, awesome. Well, so cool to see another legend in this wall. Right, so this is area one. There's a whole nother wall, a whole nother room out the back.
Yes. Let's go and have a look at that.
So coming into this wall, we've got people coming down in auto belays, and it's really white. Again, another change since I was here.
Yes, we painted this last summer. It had the old paint job, and it was just a little bit dark in here, so we just wanted to freshen it up. And this is the furnace. originally when we opened the Foundry, the idea was to have a shop in here, and Wild Country believe that you're going to make more money from the shop than the climbing wall. And the climbing wall's a risk, and think, is it going to work? But the shop's definitely going to work. So they put all the shop in here, all the chalk came over, everything got covered in chalk, and it didn't work. So within a year, it closed down and moved next door.
Okay, so this became the climbing wall?
Yes, and then we put a wall on there.
Okay.
But it's crazy how it evolves, that people are thinking climbing wall's not going to work, but a shop will definitely work.
No, it's the other way.
Yeah.
And we're talking about training being really at the heart of the Foundry, and you can see that over there, because we've got the campus board, there's dip bars, there's everything you'd want down here.
Yep. I put the dip bars in it. I mean, basically, I put everything. I wanted to train, and this is where I train, so I wanted everything for myself. So I put a pull-up bar here, I brought some weights down. They're still through next door. They've been there for like 25 years. So I had all my original stuff. So I do power pulls on here, dips on here. This was an exact copy of the one at Wolfgang's house in the cellar. And next door there was a steel place where they made steel. So I got them to make these things up. So they're custom made for me, and then we bolted them in here.
So that's the original pull-up bar?
This is the original pull-up bar that I got made up. And I just said, make a pull-up bar, put these two brackets on. I measured that, and they made it to that. And the same with these things. I just got them to make these things up next door.
I didn't know that.
They weren't bought, specially. I got them made up.
That's awesome. I did not know that. That's awesome.
Yeah,
and then the board.
Yeah, this is the board. This was an original S7 board, which Ben manufactured maybe 20 years ago, and he was selling them. And then when the business closed down, we bought these off him and put them on there. So that's the same angle as the original campus board. There's one of Wolfgang training.
Yeah,
on
that
it.
picture always scared me an awful lot.
And then these holes are slightly smaller than those ones are slightly smaller. Okay. But this is where I did all my training. I only ever used that one. I never used any other holes.
Yeah. More training is around the side. And I know this because we did a series with Lattice. But training for you, I mean, you talk about it a lot, and you're continuing this sort of into your retirement years of climbing, because you've written Mastermind, which is a training book for mental training.
It was mental training. I wanted to try and put something back into climbing. There's nothing more frustrating when you know you should be doing a route, you know you're strong enough, you know you're fit enough, and you're just falling off because you're getting frustrated, or you're rushing it, you're not resting long enough. You might be thinking negative things, or your mind might just be scrambled, or in a competition you don't know what you should be thinking. I learned a lot, I researched it a lot, and wrote the book, just trying to put something back into climbing.
Yeah. You're proud of it, aren't you?
I am proud of it because I put so much effort into it. I was completely obsessed by it, and for probably a month I worked on it every single day, Sundays and everything. You go to bed thinking about it, you wake up thinking about it. I just wanted to get the book done and get on with my life. So you'd never do a book like that without being obsessed.
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing. I've got a copy of it, and it's lovely. So check it out if you want it. And then this is the lattice bit we were talking about. So we've got a lattice board on the left, and a load of Beastmaker holds. Are they Beastmaker holds? There's a holds anyway.
Yeah, I think we do have some Beastmaker holds on there.
But loads of wooden holds, obviously a little bit nicer on the fingers.
Yeah. Obviously they're popular now because wood's better in a range of temperatures. So in the summer, wood's better. It doesn't weigh your fingers down. It's not quite as greasy. It's just a nicer thing to climb on. You just don't want to weigh your fingers down climbing on the things.
So we come into here, we've got Steve who's moved from the other room into the training room. It's just all over the place. And this, you guys put this in, and you're one of the first to kind of do this.
Yes.
And obviously for me, it always feels like the home place of Lattice, because this is where it started.
Yes.
This is where their empire sort of began.
Yeah, well, we had a meeting and he explained the theories behind it and the concept and stuff, and I really liked it. So we put one down here immediately, and we're really trying to push the coaching and training side of climbing. I think people, if they have a coach, they'll enjoy the climbing more because they're less likely to get injured.
Well, look, it's been amazing for me to be shown around this place by someone who literally built it. So thank you so much for having us.
Yeah, thanks for coming.
We're going to head off and have a climb now. So Jerry, thank you very much.
Great, thanks very much.
And if you guys are in Sheffield and you want to come to the original wall, come to the Foundry.